Hey guys, what's up? It's Sean from Keeping Rock Alive, and today we're going to be going over the octave layouts for the CAGED system. As I mentioned before, we're going to start working on something called the CAGED system, which uses the major open shapes that we've learned so far, C, A, G, E, and D. And the way we're going to build our scales and arpeggios off these shapes is where within each of those particular shapes the root of the chord lies. So we're going to start with C major. If you remember the C major shape, it's this. And the root of a C major chord is C, so we want to examine in the shape where does the note C appear. And in this case it appears on the 5th string and the B string. So from now on, we're going to refer to that as the C octave shape, and you should memorize that shape. The next octave layout we're going to work on is based on the A major chord. And because the root of this chord is A, we're going to look within the chord to see where the note A lies. So we have one on the 5th open string, and then we have one on the G string. So this is the A octave shape. You should memorize that shape as well. Next we move to the G major chord. We do the same thing. Look within that open chord to see where the notes G are. And so we have one on the low E string, 3rd fret, the open G string, and then one on the high E. And that's going to be the G-shape octave layout. Next we move to the E octave shape. Here is our E major chord. And we find the note E on the low E open 2nd fret of the D string and the open high E. And that's our E octave layout. And the last chord, D major, is played like this. And within that chord we find the note D on the open D string and the 3rd fret of the B string. And so that's going to be our D octave shape. And the system is called CAGED because as we move in the octave shapes up the neck, it's going to follow the pattern of our C octave shape, A octave shape, G octave shape, E octave shape, and finally our D octave shape, and then returning to the C shape. So once you've memorized those shapes, you can move them up and down the neck to represent octaves of any note. So we're going to use the example of C and start from our C octave shape. And we move to the A shape, also using the note C though. We have 3rd fret of the A string and 5th fret of the G string. Then the next shape in the sequence is the G shape, which is 8th fret of the low E, 5th fret of the G, and 8th fret of the high E. So far we have the C octave layout, the A octave layout, and the G octave layout. And then the next shape is the E octave layout, which is played 8th fret of the low E, 10th fret of the D, and 8th fret of the high E. And then the final shape is the D octave shape, which we're now using to find the notes C up the neck. Starts 10th fret of the D string and 13th fret of the B string. So here are the C, A, G, E, and D octave shapes for the note C moving up the neck. Starting from C, A shape, G shape, E shape, and D shape. And then if you find the octaves one position higher, you'll find that you're back at the C shape. Memorize these shapes and how they fit together to move up the fretboard. Try playing them with different notes as well, and also try starting on different shapes and going through the pattern of CAGED. So say you wanted to start on the G shape, you could do that, start on G, and the pattern still stays the same. So it's G, E, D, C, A. So no matter where you start within that pattern of C, A, G, E, D, it will always stay the same. That's all for this lesson. Make sure to subscribe and leave comments down below on things you'd like to learn. And you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/KRAguitar.